Hello, Fofamit here, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most popular VTuber applications called Luppet. And I'm going to do a step-by-step guide on how you can get started using this application. This video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. Enjoy fast, secure web browsing from any country in the world. Click in the video description to learn more. Once you finish downloading the application Luppet, then what you're going to do is you're going to extract it to, I recommend the C drive, because sometimes in the past there have been some issues if it hasn't been located in the root directory of your C drive. So we have it right here on my screen. Before you open the application, what you need to do is, Luppet's one of the more picky versions of the applications. So what you need to do is go to Luppet Data, and then you're going to see a bunch of stuff here. And then you're going to go to something called Streaming Assets. So we're going to open Streaming Assets. Here in Streaming Assets is where you are going to be putting your VRM avatar files. If you don't know what a VRM avatar is, or you don't know how to convert your avatar to a VRM, so a little thingy should appear in your screen right now if you want to know how to do that. It's a video I've done previously. So let's go back to the Luppet directory. So now we're going to open the application Luppet. And then you're going to be logging in. Mainly you're going to be logging in if you've paid for it. This is where you're going to be, you enter in your license key, and then it allows you to use the application without that giant annoying watermark. Now, another thing is that there are some system settings. So I have mine set for 1080p. So this is a 1080p screen right now, set for 60 FPS, and I have my graphics set for very high. If you are finding you're having some performance problems, this is where you should go to change those settings. By default, if you have your VRM avatar located in the streaming assets part that we talked about earlier, now you should see a list of all your avatars here. So one thing I have noticed is that if you have any FBX avatars in that folder, make sure that you move them, because sometimes it can make the avatar list not update properly. So please make sure that you only have VRM avatars located in that folder. So here are all the VRM avatars that I have located. Now what they do have is, they do have the default avatar if you wanted to use that. But I do have one of my own avatars that I want to use. I'm gonna click on the avatar, and then you should see it load up here. Now, one thing before you actually open the application and get going is the expression keys. And this is what it's gonna allow you to have your extra expressions for your avatar. So let's click on the expression keys. So here I already have mine all set up. So you should have a bunch of hotkeys set for your avatar. So this is where you're gonna have all of your expression keys located for your avatar. There's a couple of things that you should take note of. So there's actually a button descriptor that's located right here, and it actually tells you everything that you need to do. Mostly for everything else, you wanna keep them all on default. And what the B means is that all you have to do is press the key. And once you press the key, it will actually activate the expression, but as soon as you let go of the key, it's going to stop. So personally, I like to keep it on this mode, but I do know that some people like to have it on, if you press the B, it'll change to T, which is the toggle, which means that once you press the button, it's gonna keep that expression. So for example, if you have, let's say, the toggle mode for smile, like this, that means that it's not gonna stop smiling until you press the same button again. And what's really cool about doing it that way is you can press a whole bunch of them all at once, and then it'll activate all of your expressions. It kind of looks a little bit weird, but it does work. So we're gonna keep it on these settings that I have right here. Now, in order to actually get some movement with your avatar, you're gonna have to go here to camera recognition. So I'm gonna select my Logitech C920. And we're gonna start with this model. Okay, and then now you should see your avatar start to track a little bit. So essentially, to get like the best tracking out of your avatar is you wanna have your face completely unobstructed. Essentially, what you see in your web camera, it should be the same distance that you're seeing right now. It should be able to see from this part all the way up and in your entire head, and then have a clear view of your face. Here, lighting is very, very key. Okay, so now in this window, the first thing that you should do before dealing with the webcam is we're going to go to the lip sync. And what you're gonna do with the lip sync is you're gonna set your microphone here. So you can have the camera-based lip sync, but I really don't recommend it because the camera-based lip sync is not really that great. Basically, the camera-based lip sync is gonna be looking for like this. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really work that great. So what you should be using is you should be using the microphone-based lip sync. It's gonna be listening for those sounds like ah, e, u, e, o. It's gonna detect that sound and activate different mouth shapes based on that. So let's do that right now. I'm gonna set it for my microphone. You should now see that in this bottom corner, you're gonna see my avatar mouth moving. And you can also change the sensitivity of it. So I'm just gonna change it a little bit higher. And let's take a look at what that looks like. So now you can see that with that avatar, you can see that it's actually like doing some lip tracking. Very similar to what you see right here. But all of this is all being done only with sound and not with your camera. So what is the camera used for? So the camera is actually used for tracking your head location as well as your eyes. So just let me set that up and show you what that looks like. Now I have the camera detecting my face properly, and you can see that it's actually detecting my head pretty well. One thing, like I said before, you do need to have pretty good lighting condition. If you're having some issue with the body movement, what you can do is go back into the settings, and you can go to webcam calibration, and then make sure that you're gonna stand perfectly still, centered in front of where you're normally looking, and then you're gonna hit calibrate. If you happen to have a leap motion, with a leap motion, you're gonna have your hand tracking as well, just like this. If you're having any issues with your leap motion, where I have my leap motion mounted is around right here. And I'm using a GoPro mount for my leap motion that I use for Luppet. And then what can really help you if you're having some like weird tracking settings with that is you can go to leap motion settings, and then here you can move this cursor around to move approximately where your leap motion will be mounted, and this will really help you with your hand and arm positions. And then in terms of your camera, you can change that also with the mouse, as you can see right here. You can move it around, and you can also get the rotation just like this in case you want to do anything really fun. You can also change the background to like a image, or I prefer just a green screen so that I can like green screen my background to make it look really nice. In OBS, you can just make it look like whatever you want. And then here you can play with some of the lighting. I find that when you play with the lighting, it really helps add more depth and realism to your avatar. So this is where I would actually 100% recommend just playing around with the setting a little bit. I guess a kind of added feature too is the ability to take photos. So sometimes if you see me like post a photo on Twitter, usually I'm like, oh, I don't want to get all my stuff on. So I'll just open up Luppet, and then you'll see I'll usually take a photo using that. So when it comes down to the expressions, here we can activate the facial expressions. So I'm just pressing the buttons. The only thing that you're really limited to here is the amount of, I guess, hotkeys that you can come up with, as well as how many unique different combinations that you can make for your facial expressions when you're making your avatar set up for VRM in Unity. And I find like adding these expressions really help you out with bringing your avatar to life, which I think is one of the most important things. And essentially that's all you really need to know. If you want to see a comparison between this application and basically its main competitor right now is a program called VSeeFace, which is a free application. I also did a video comparison that you might be able to see like here or like somewhere like right here. And also I stream on Twitch, so if you want any questions about anything VTuber related, you can hop in my stream and then you'll be able to see something neat from there.